Hobao Dominator, 1/10 scale, 4-wheel drive monster truck. We just got back from a nighttime vintage road trip. It was a 55-kilometre round trip. Cost me $5 in petrol. I got 2 RC cars, both of them Nitro. We got a 1/8 scale buggy, a Thunder Tiger, EB4 S3 with the Pro 28 BK engine, pull start, and a Hobao Dominator, which is a 4-wheel drive monster truck, also 1/8 scale. It's not built. The gentleman who was lovely, his name was George, he was going to do a full restore of the truck. He wanted to work on some other stuff, some cars and motorbikes, so he's decided to give up this hobby and pass these Nitros on to me. $250 AUD, that is 160 US, I believe. Quite a good deal, and he's assured me that everything is here, and there's a lot of new parts here as well. Shocks, air filter parts, brand new Hobao parts in the packets. So we're very excited to put this together. We got 2 things of fuel as well, so we might have to have some late nights restoring this monster truck. $165 US, which is $250 AUD for the Hobao or OFNA Dominator. It is going to require a lot of work to put it back together. It's currently in pieces, in a lot of pieces. The body's in great condition. Yeah, so it all seems to be there, even though the steering rack appears to be a little bit buckled. I'm not sure if there is anything missing at this stage. I mean, you know, fuel tank is there, pipe, radio box, front and rear clip, center transmission, single speed, single brake. We've got an engine in this box over here. We've got the header, the coupler, the front bumper, the muffler spring, all 4 tyres. Tyres in great condition, not a single crack. We've got a bent pipe. See if we can get these dents out in the freezer, or maybe just don't worry about it, I think. It's even got the EFRA stamp on it, 9886. Yeah, the front and rear clip seem in good condition besides the missing body post there. I have repaired one of these in the past, but I can only repair them when the parts are still here. I can't repair them when they're not there, although someone did tell me just to grab a pen and then put the pen over the top to reinforce the material if you need to. But the pen is actually the same thickness as the post itself. Maybe we can just use the pen as the post since it's the same thickness. So that's a good idea. We might do that. So yeah, besides that and the bend in there, I mean, I don't even know if that is bent accidentally or there is a bit of damage there. So that's making me think, how did this get an impact there? That's so strange. But yeah, don't know if there's anything missing. This is the deal that came with the EB4 S3. I didn't want this S3, but now that I've had a look at it, it is amazing. It's all there. The engine is like brand new. Such a high quality car, these Thunder Tigers. So this alone would have been worth the $250 that I paid easily. I can easily offload that for $250. So that means I get a free Dominator if I can put it back together. So probably what you're wondering is, does it have an engine? So this is the 3rd box that it came with. And the answer is yes, there is an engine in here, and a lot of spares and a lot of brand new parts. A lot of 1/8 scale foams. We've got the engine in here. We'll take a look at that now. And then yeah, we've got, well, there you go. We've got some body posts. That's the ones I thought we were missing. All the parts are there, and so many more parts that we don't need. I didn't even realize this at the time, that we've got more parts here than we need. Okay, so the guy was going to do a restore, but he's restoring so many cars and motorcycles. He's probably making a lot of money doing that. So he's probably given up RCCARs. Yeah, a lot of Hobao parts in here, a lot of new parts. So many parts. Drive shafts, we got air filters, we've got arms, we've got, wow, we've got servos, high torque servos from High Tech. We've got a kill switch. We've got another receiver here, an AM receiver. Oh man, more radio trays. Arms. I don't know what this is for. It's got a Molex Tamiya plug on one side, but double pin on the other. Never seen that before. Don't think it's even RC related. We've got a Hobao pull start, that will come in handy. Shock parts, arms, more parts. We've got a million parts here. Oh, here we go. We've got the antenna tube and the Fly Sky receiver. So that receiver is what we need with the Fly Sky GT3B. So we're going to test if that works. I want to know if that receiver works. I just put the batteries in. That's all working, which is great. Okay, let's have a quick look at this engine. Did I do well? Was that a good deal for $250? I basically got two good looking cars if I can get these back together. Alright, so the Dominator comes with this Force engine. That's not sitting straight for some reason. Maybe some of the lock nuts have moved. But it's got the clutch bell. You can see the bearing. The flywheel looks pretty good. No, it's got a few notches in there. Someone's been hacking into that. So the flywheel is worn on that side, but it's grooved on that side. So that means someone didn't know what they were doing, weren't preheating it. Look at those bolts underneath, they're massive. Okay, so we've got a Force engine. What size would this be? Not sure. The carburetor is composite and metal. It is not seized at all. The engine is not seized at all. That's moving fine. So that means the pull start should work and we should get some pops, and then we can see how much compression pinch we've got. The high-speed needle is almost flush. That is a great sign. So I suspect if we take the head off this Force, or should we have a guess? Would it be a Force 21? Or would it be an 18? I don't know. Remember when these monster trucks came out, they didn't have very big engines in the early 2000s, did they? So hopefully it's a 21, but if not, it's probably an 18. All right, let's put the camera down. I'll see if I've got pinch, and I'll look up to see what the engine size is. Are you ready? Oh, yeah. That's insane. That is really nice. We got great pops and we got great resistance. This engine is brand new. All right, so our little Fly Sky receiver was quite interesting. The plugs were in the wrong ports. Not only were they in the wrong ports, but they were plugged in the wrong way. The black lead was closest to the middle. As we know, the black lead negative should always be closest to the end. The power switch here has been cut, so I removed it completely. Like, what's the point of having the power switch in if it's cut? So we've got the transmitter on. We've plugged in our little life battery into a spare port in the receiver, and the lights come on. Steering is working, throttle is working. So I just don't know how this was so messed up, but so glad everything is working. That means we can just use this radio for this car. Right, a quick look at the spare parts box, and we found that we do need this because these are the servos for steering and throttle. So that's going to go on. And we do need this. That's the front bumper and body post support. So since that one's missing, we're just going to swap the whole thing out for this one, or just take the part off that we need. But you can see that the part that we need is pretty much the whole thing anyway. So the drive shafts were in the box. They fit in nicely on the rear. On the front, it goes into the out drive. On the front center transmission, we are missing the out drive, but I did see that in the box as a brand new one, so that will go in there nicely. So why is this bent? Why is that bent? I would say that that would not have come bent from Hobao. And the way it's bent, not even in the middle. It's very sus. So let's take all that piece off and bend it back. I think what we'll do is we'll heat it up first so that we don't stress it too much when we bend it back. But that doesn't look right because it's bending down on that side. It's bending up on that side. So it's not even consistent. It's definitely damage there. But how did that happen? Everything else looks pretty straight. Top plate is straight. All that metal is straight. Nothing's broken here. Oh, actually, yeah, we do have a bit of bending there. And the aluminium looks a bit fatigued. It's gone a bit white. This has had a big front end collision. What did it hit? Well, it didn't hit the bumper. Maybe the arms have hit something. Or it's cartwheeled and it was just too heavy. And things have gone sideways. I think that's what happens. Look at the sway bar. The sway bar comes to a little hook that hooks through the arm. That's quite interesting. I've never seen that before. Yeah, we'll take this apart and we'll see how much needs to be straightened up. Now, while looking at the center assembly, we see that this side is really nice. No play at all on that side. Now I can see a spring in the middle. That would indicate that there's a slipper spur there. So no center diff, which is great, but definitely a slipper spur. Otherwise, why would you have a spring? So that must be putting tension on must be a friction pad there. But then on this one, that's all loose. So it's not fixed properly. I need to look into that. Brake cam, so single brake. We've got our work cut out for us. Let's give these Dominator parts a little bit of a wash in soapy water using the electric toothbrush. Let's show some love to the pipe and the header using the steel wool and the metal polish. Wow, what a difference the polish has made. We just gave the wheels a bit of a wash in the soapy water. Come out good. So I posted this picture of this Force engine in the Nitro gang just for people to tell me what it was. And they told me it's the Force 21. But I also wasn't expecting someone to tell me that the backplate is upside down. So let's fix that. Right, we got the pull start off, but now we've got to get this backplate off so we can get that little triangle notch up on this side where it should be. Backplate is going to come off. Hopefully we haven't grabbed the piston or anything like that. We've got to go real slowly, make sure the piston is at the top when you remove. So if it doesn't want to come out, just put it back in. Put it back in. And then rotate the flywheel until the piston is hitting the top. You'll feel the pinch. Get the maximum pinch and then try and remove it again. There you go. See, you don't want to damage your rod or your piston by trying to remove a backplate with your piston down. This one here seems okay, but if we rotate it again, oh look, the starter shaft has fallen out. Let's get that out before we lose it. There it is. And you can see the spring, the starter spring is in there. Oh, looking really clean in there. Really clean. No varnish, no rust. It looks great. Pull start is back on, back plate is in the correct orientation. We've used this opportunity to put a yellow elastic band over the car boot. That means if our throttle linkage fails, it will always snap back to carb close so we don't get a runaway. Oh, great pops there. Snap, crackle and pop. Well, we don't want snaps. Alright, we've just taken all the items out of the box and a few of the items out of the bags just to get a visual of what we've got here, what we are dealing with. The first thing I'll say is that it looks like everything is here, you know. We've got a chassis, a front and rear clip, we've got servo trays, we've got a radio box, you know, the shocks are there, we've got a pipe and manifold, a coupler, we've got some spare bumper parts and arms, more spare parts for the front and rear clip, we've got a fuel tank, we've got an air filter, but we actually do need a foam, so that's one thing that's missing. We've got a brand new pull start, not required, the engine's got a pull start. The engine's got the carb, it's got the mounts, it's got the clutch bell. We've got spare clutch bells, one of them brand new, a 13, a 12, an old 12, spare brakes, lots of screws and linkages, drive shafts, you know, shock parts, FM radio that we're not going to use, crystals, a fail-safe for FM, more old style radio gear, crystals, a digital radio with receiver, maybe that's a bit rusty, don't think we're going to use that. So it all looks like it's here. I guess what we should do is start taking things apart and seeing, you know, is that bent? It looks to me like it's bent. So maybe take these things apart and straighten it, see if we've got spare parts, otherwise just straighten what we've got and start loading things up on the chassis and see what we can put together without a manual, and maybe even download the manual, make it easier. Alright, I think I know something that's missing. Although it looks like everything's complete and we do have 4 nice tyres with great amount of tread, we can see there's no wheel nuts. We've got the hexes, but we don't have the nuts. Even the spare ones don't have the nuts. When we look at all the screw bags, we can't see any nuts anywhere. So that's one thing that's missing. I do have HSP ones spare, but they're not exactly compatible with Hobao. So we might even have to order Hobao ones, otherwise we might cross the threads and ruin them. Let's stick 8 batteries in the transmitter and connect up a battery to the receiver just to see if these servos work and if this radio is bound. Okay, let's plug it in. Well, we've got lights. Is it going to work? Oh, yep, we've got steering and we've got throttle. What's that? Oh, ABS brakes. I don't know why people use ABS brakes. Do they actually work? And check this out. The on-off switch has been cut right off. Let's have a look and see how bad this impact is that's happened here. So not only has the tower, the body post snapped off, so that's the most obvious thing. But then when you have a closer look, you see this shaft here, this support bell crank is bent. The blue bell crank is bent, so that's another thing. And then when you keep looking a little bit closer, you can see some fine cracks occurring in there. Okay. Then look a little bit closer. You can see some more cracks here. Okay, and then now you see the real damage. Okay, if the spring is looking like that, you can guarantee that that shaft is bent as well. So does this side compress? Yeah, that side compresses. And this side? Okay, I'm surprised it still compresses, but it's horrible. Let's take this all apart, start fixing it up. Just going to start with these 2 Phillips head screws here, and then these bolts here with the Allen key, just to get this top plate off. I think that's bent as well. Now, to get this bell crank off, we need spanner on this side, or a nut driver, and a nut driver on this side. So I'll get two at the same time so I can get this off on both sides. Alright, it's time to straighten this out. It's well and truly bent. Maybe we'll just stick it in the vise and try and straighten it. So we'll just wrap it in a bit of shop towel so we don't scratch it. Okay, got one of the kinks out of it, but still a little bit too bent. Alright, I'm happy with that. It's looking really straight now. I reckon it's ready to reinstall. Alrighty, so we've got a broken body post, we've got a shock that's no good, we've got an arm that's all bent. You know, we've got a lot of problems here. So what I'm thinking is, let's remove all this, change the arm. Let's remove all this, change the body post tower, and also we've got to investigate this shock as well, see how bad it is. Is it just the spring or is it everything? You know what? That feels alright. I can't believe it. That actually feels alright. Let's put the new spring on. Oh, there's nothing wrong with that at all. That's fine. Let's just go with that. Right, let's take this this dodgy arm off. Pop that out. Take this out for the sway bar. So that unhooks, and then that probably comes down. Oh man, look at that, that's all buckled. So what we'll do while we're in here, both of these are stuffed. So if we can get two new ones of these, we'll be sweet, because they're all mangled. That one there's only bent up there, so I can reuse that if I had to. But this one here, all the thread is all stuffed as well. Well, luckily for me, we found the parts. So that little ball goes there. And then all we've got to do is push that in. Huh, did you see that? It went all the way through. So that tells me that I'm better off using normal pliers. So now we're going to remove the bad arm. Wow, that's really tight. Give it a bit of a whack with a hammer. And then try again. Wow, it does not want to move. What if we put a tent peg through it? Got a bit of extra leverage. That seems to have worked. I mean, we bent it, but it worked. How do we remove the ball from here now? What's the trick? Check this out. I need a front, right, lower A-arm. I don't have one. I've got 3 lefts. 1, 2, 3, but I've got no rights. So what I think I might do is I might just flip that one and pretend that's for the right. This blue piece is fatigued. You can see the stretch marks in there. It's definitely fatigued. And since we've got a bad body post, and since all these bumpers are all bent, why don't we just swap it out with this whole front end we got here. New bumpers, new body post, new blue piece. It's all ready to go. I'll just swap it all out.
Celebrating 70 years of Vintage, the one-up sale is now
Rear drive shaft, rear bumper. Oh, hi there. I've just noticed that you're praying. Do you mind if I ask what you're praying for? Are you praying for another successful vintage nitro restoration? So we're trying to mount the muffler, the pipe. If you look at the muffler stay, it looks like there's a bit of a crack on the end here. Now if you try and push it towards the stay there, you see that? It's never going to reach. The pipe's going to hit the tank. So what we need to do is get a bit of coat hanger and put a bit of an L-shaped bend in it and make sure it's just another couple centimeters longer than this piece here. There we go, old exhaust hanger and the new exhaust hanger. Alright, the chassis is back together. We got the engine on, we got the pipe on, we got the fuel tank on. So now it's just a matter of doing the radio box and the servo tray. The one brake, I don't see any spring, so I'm going to have to go and find a spring. The top of the radio box has got one screw, but we need three. 1, 2, 3. Let's go and find two more of these. So I just went to attach the fuel line from the fuel tank to the carburetor, and I thought, okay, might as well do the pressure line while I'm here. So there's the pressure nipple from the pipe, but where does it go to? Normally there's a hole in the tank where that goes, but can you see it? Oh, it's here underneath. We are just putting the servo tray in. I needed to find a long 12mm screw for there for the servo horn. Missing one screw there. I found one. 1, 2, 3. I pinched these from a scooter I found in the street. It's all looking really good. We're ready to do the final linkages for brakes and throttle. Alright, we haven't attached the screw for the servo horn yet, but let's just muck around with the steering here and just see how it looks. So we're going to go full left, and we don't have too much steering actually happening, and that's for two reasons. One, we've brought the screw very close to the center of the horn, which means we're not getting much throw. And number two, we've put this screw here as far away as possible, which also means we're not getting much throw. So if we need more throw, we're going to have to move this one out and this one in. It might actually be enough throw as it is. Let's just check what happens. We'll zoom out a bit. Full left, full right. So are we happy with that? That doesn't seem like much steering to me. So I'm going to put this little 1mm spacer on here just to raise the height of the the main linkage, this piece here. And the reason I do that is because the collet here will rub on the servo horn if I don't raise the height. Right, how's my steering? How's my throttle? We've got full throttle. We've got the carb all the way open. Let go. Back to the idle gap. Looks good. And the brakes. I've removed the ABS feature. Just a normal brake feature. I can see the brakes compressing when I do that. I think it's going to be ready to go. And look at that gap. Look at that gap there between. Look at that. There's a gap, but it moves anyway. So as long as I'm getting nice carb action, I don't care that there's a huge gap there. This has got to be the most interesting radio box I've ever seen. First of all, I love it because it's huge. Second of all, it's weird because instead of having a pin through here, you've actually got to do it up with a screw. But anyway, here's the quick release flap to get to your on-off switch that's just floating around in there. How crazy is that? The on-off switch is not even mounted. I can't believe there's no hole for this on-off switch to come through. Why didn't they put a hole? They obviously want you to turn it on, put the screw in, and keep it completely sealed. Right, we need wheel nuts. I don't actually have any wheel nuts, so upset that it didn't come with any. Let's pinch some from a Hyper 7 so that we can get some wheels on. However, I did accidentally buy these HSP ones, and they are the wrong pitch. They're 1.25 pitch, whereas Hobao use a 1mm pitch. So if I change the whole hub, I can actually use the HSP ones, but then I've got to shim them back out a bit from the bearing. That saves me having to go and find some wheel nuts that are 1mm pitch. Wow, look at the dirt and the hair on here. What is that? Blair Witch Project? Or the hair? Okay, I can't remember why I bought these shims, but they're 9 by 13 by 0.5, and 9 is bigger than 8, so that means it's going to work and I don't have to drill them. We put 2 in there, that's a total of 1 mil stack, and look at the play. It's just absolutely perfect and it's smooth. So I reckon 2 of these on each corner, we can get away with using the HSP ones. That's going to be great. Right, so we put 1mm shim stack, then we put that HSP hub, then we put the pin through, then we put the wheel on, and then we put our 5mm grub screw with our red medium strength thread locker. Air filter oil, brand new air filter. Take the oily air filter out, slide it onto the air filter case, support, holder, foundation. Put the cover on. Put this one on to make it look really brand new. Guys love this stuff. They love things that are brand new. See? Now it looks like, oh yeah, wow, brand new air filter. Well, it is brand new. Will not prime at all. All the air's coming out of the tank. The gasket is bad. Fuel tank is leaking. You have to remove the fuel tank and do some proper pressure tests. And that's why we can't pressurize the tank. I've just filled it up with water. There's a huge leak in it. Okay? There's a leak, and look where it's leaking from. From the screw mount, where the screw comes in from underneath. So somebody's used a screw that's too long and cracked the fuel tank. That's why it's leaking there. So we've got to put some epoxy in there to fill the crack. A bit of silicone in there as well, so we can try and save this fuel tank. It's too good to throw it out. We've got our 2-part epoxy. The crack is inside that thread. We've mixed up the epoxy. We've been stirring it for a couple of minutes. What we'll do now is we'll just grab a little bit of it, put it down the thread, let it fall down in there, let it completely set. That'll fill up the 4mm hole in the crack. Then we can drill it 3mm or 3.5mm, or maybe 3.2 would be even better. We can find something in between 3 and 3.5. Now, I don't think the epoxy will work, because as soon as we put the drill bit in there, the drill bit turns and just rips out all the epoxy, leaving the original 4mm hole again, and probably the crack. So what we'll do is we'll put a bit of glue in there, a bit of silicone glue, some soft shoe glue, like this one, Shoe Fix, and at the same time we'll stick a bit of fishing line in there. And the fishing line will be the material that will grab, and the glue will keep it in place. That will take up the hole, fill the gaps, something for the screw to bite onto, and at the same time it will stop the leaks from the inside as well. So we've just filled up the tank halfway with isopropyl alcohol, just to see if there's a leak, and there's no obvious leak anymore, which is a good sign. That means that either the epoxy or the shoe goo has filled the gaps. But of more concern is this one here. That's where the stone filter is down there. And I think it's blocked, because if you blow in here, nothing happens. So what I might do is just put the tube in there, just to see if we get some bubbles down the bottom when we blow, because I just don't feel like anything's happening. All right, we do have bubbles, but it's very hard to blow. The more we blow in here, the more bubbles I'm seeing. So I'm wondering if I should just get the air compressor and just blow for a couple minutes. Having a look at the back of the fuel tank, there's a crack there, just between the springs. So we're going to get the soldering iron out, give it a bit of heat treatment, and then maybe we'll throw some silicone over the whole thing. We've either fixed it or made it worse. Maybe we'll put some epoxy in there. All right, and then we just put a little bit of epoxy over the scorched marks that we did with the soldering iron. Just found the problem with the tank. If you look at these little supports, where these little supports meet the tank, that's the crack there. And the same on the other side. Where the support meets the tank, bang, there's a crack there. You can see straight into the tank. This is going to be really hard to repair. I'm going to use this tool to push the shaft out and just take the whole spring off and the lid off. I'm going to repair this thing properly with the epoxy, but I don't want any pressure on there while I'm trying to do the repair. Well, I don't believe it. We found another crack. This one is running this way on the outside there. Very hard to see it. I'm just going to hit it with the soldering iron and then cover it with epoxy. Same as the other crack that I did here. Soldering iron first and then epoxy. And then we'll do the same for these ones here. A little bit of soldering iron and just cover the whole thing with epoxy. Let's cut this fuel tank screw shorter so it doesn't rupture the tank again. Okay, we've mixed up some epoxy and we've reset those little supports for the lid. You can see heaps of epoxy on that one, heaps of epoxy on that one, and even I managed to drop some epoxy inside the tank just there where the screws come up from underneath. Put some epoxy on there as well. That's the problem one, that one that's all gone brown. So we've got a drop of epoxy on there. So the epoxy has set, and lucky for me I used too much of one of the compounds, so it hasn't really gone hard, but it's good enough. And that's good for me because I put too much near the posts, which means when I push the lid down, you can see it made a little dent on either side where there was too much epoxy. So that's good. We put the foam back in that I covered in RTV gasket maker. It feels like it makes a good seal. You put your tool through everything, then you get your clip, and the clip goes in as the tool comes out. Okay, so that's it, and now we have to test pressure. So we just hooked up the hose, and we're going to see if air comes out the pressure nipple. Fantastic! We finally got some air coming out of here. I think we might have actually fixed this fuel tank once and for all. Let's put a couple zip ties over the coupler here, silicon coupler. Okay, we've got fuel, we've already primed. Turn it on and the carb should close. The carb has closed. Throttle opens. We've got brakes. Let's fire it up. Okay, nothing. Is it the glow igniter? Try a different one. It was the glow igniter. Okay, let's see which igniter works. Whoa, very bright.
Why does it doesn't start? Papa, why does it doesn't start?
Why doesn't it start?
Yeah, yes.
Oh, look at that. No glow at all.
No, don't make it so loud.
You don't like loud noises?
No. I don't want loud noises. Don't make it so loud. Too loud.
It's too loud, is it?
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Is it too loud?
Open the carb, open it up, give it a bit of priming. It's primed.
Come on, boys.
Close the carb.
Get excited. It's
See it
showtime.
Good fire. Okay, so it sounds like it could need a little bit more air. More priming. So it wants to fire. Lean the low. Open the carb. More priming. Close the carb. Alright, so when we lean it out, it starts up. We have stripped the Force 21 engine apart to see if there's anything strange going on. the first thing that I notice when it comes to the head shim. There should be 2, but there's only 1. So that's not going to help. I've already changed the glow plug. It takes a short plug. So I'm using a hot short plug, N3. If I haven't got one of these, I'll try and make one. Or otherwise, I'll just order one. Oh, Christmas beetle. Okay, O-rings for the carb neck. I've measured them up. Probably 11 by 13 by 1 and a 13 by 15 by 1. We'll go through the O-ring gasket kit, see what we can find. Other than that, this engine looks fantastic. A bit of drama getting the carb out because I wasn't sure what to do with the pinch bolt. But the pinch bolt, you just need to slide it back a little bit and then it's in the perfect position to get everything out. I haven't taken the clutch off, but it looks normal. There's no play, but it moves. The crankshaft doesn't have much rust on it at all. Yeah, everything's nice here. I think once we fix up these gaskets and that head shim with the new plug and give the carb a clean, I think this engine's going to be really nice. So we've taken the back plate off because we want to change the O-ring. The O-ring looks fine, but we're going to change it anyway. Got a few here to choose from. We'll see which one fits best. A little bit of rust on the starter shaft. Not too much. We'll clean that up with a high-speed rotary tool.
Have your emergency. This engine was run properly. We need help with the monster truck.
Highly unusually for corporate Nitro, we actually sold the Hobao Dominator before we got it running. This is something that I'm not happy that I've done, but the garage is getting really full. There's a lot of trucks in there that I need to start working on. I'm really running out of space, so it made sense just to get rid of it since it was giving so much engine troubles anyway. I'm sure the new owner is happy with it. All new gaskets, all new O-rings, and I even mentioned it probably just needs a new fuel tank. So happy to move it on to the next person, but would have been nice to see it going in reality.